Hi, welcome to another video. So today I'm going to suss out this table. It's quite low. I'd like to make it into a dining table, and I'm going to spray up the legs black, and actually I need to rise it up a bit because it's just a bit too low. You can't quite get your legs underneath. So I'm going to work out how I can then rise it up. It needs to come up probably to about 66 centimetres so that it can make it into a dining table. I'm going to put a different top on it and then work out, then maybe put some sort of edging around here. I'm going to sketch it out and then work out what I can do with it. So let's see how it goes. Turn the table up on its end, and what I'm going to do is just take the screws out of here and see what's underneath. Okay, it's got these screws here underneath. I'll reuse these. And they just come out like that. Okay, I'll put this bit of 2x7, I think it is, across here just to raise up the legs. I'm going to work out how I can cut it and make sure that it's going to still be really strong to hold the legs. Okay, I cut 4 of these, and they're just going to raise the leg up. So it's just going to sit like that on top or underneath of the tabletop. So let's fix it, we'll screw it in and see what it looks like. Okay, now I'm going to screw those in to the table there, so then the legs can fit there and actually go a bit further to the edge because we're going to put another top on it. Okay, I think what it does need is 2 of these to raise it up, so that then, well, it's going to go like that, so there is enough height then to get your legs underneath. From there to the table there, which actually is 66 centimetres, which is what I was aiming for. Then what I'm going to do is I'll put some nice shuttering on the edge over here to cover it all up. Okay, I think this is the best way to do it to make it really sturdy. So I've got 2 of those bits of wood high. I've just got to work out now how I fix it so it's really secure, really tight. What I might use is some timber bolts. I use these hex screws, screw all the way through, glue it all up so it's really nice and strong. So the hex screw should just be able to go straight through here, straight through those 2 bits of wood into the tabletop itself. I'll glue in between here and on there so it's nice and strong. Okay, I'm just going to screw that into here and glue it in position. Loads of glue. I'm going to make sure when I screw in, it's not going to be in the way of these screws here. It's just really just to fix it in position. It'll have a bit of strength, but not loads of strength, because that's going to come from these hex screws going in there. Okay, there's one bit glued on. I'm just going to glue and screw this bit on. I'm going to push it up to the wall so that I can get a nice flat edge, and then push it up to it so I know it's nice and flat to screw it in. Just need a bit of glue, a lot of glue, and then put that on there, and then screw it in. I'm going to make sure where the leg goes that I'm not going to foul it with a screw at all. Great, that's that done. Now just for that one. And the other 2. Okay, they're all glued and screwed now. There's 4 of them all together. And now what I'm going to do is just turn it up the other way, just to make sure it's so secure. I'm going to screw in from the other way as well. where that's all screwed in. Made sure that the heads are lower than the top. That's the 4 corners all screwed together. I'll let it dry overnight. Okay, I'm now just going to measure the board, the outside bit here, and that's 121 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is to put an angle on it. So that's an inside measurement. And then now what I'm going to do is to turn my miter saw to a 45-degree angle. I'm just going to use a bit of old decking board and then measure 121 centimeters for the inside angle. And cut the 45-degree angle from the inside measurement. And then I'll do the other side. And then see, oh, that's where the angle is. So I'll measure and do the same for all the edges. So hopefully that's becoming clearer what I'm doing now. Well, I'm just going to shut in all the edges. Number 2 board done. Now the ends to do. Okay, that's the end one. Just got to do the far end. Also, what I'm going to do is to cut away here up to here so that you can actually get your legs under the table. Okay, now I've got to work out how much to cut away so you can actually get your legs underneath. I'll do a bit of a curve there so it's got a bit of a feature. Let's measure exactly each side so it's going to look equal. So that's about 20 centimeters in. So let's do it at exactly 20 centimeters in. Just make sure we've got enough room at the end as well. Okay, I've just done one side and it's just going to go on here like that. And then I'll just do the other side. So I forgot to show you how I did it. Basically, I just drilled out there and then cut along there and cut along there. But I'll show you how I do it on the other one. I may use this as a template for the other side now. I'll drill out here and here just to get a nice curved edge. It's got a 25mm drill bit. Just partially cut that and do the same the other side. I use my circular saw just to cut that bit out. I'll just sand that down so it's nice and smooth and even. All marked up, and just a quick tip then for cutting a straight line. I've just put a straight edge there and then I'll just go along with my circular saw there and it will keep it all in one line. I'll just cut the rest through with the jigsaw. Great, that's the edges done. It's coming together slowly. Okay, you've got these planks that I'm going to use for the top. I'm just going to mark them up for my biscuit cutter to be able to put biscuit joints in them. Okay, I've just set it up just to see what it's like. It looks like there's quite a bit of an overhang, but hopefully it should be okay. I'll turn it up the other way, see what it actually is going to look like. They're all marked up, ready to go. I've got about 10 centimeters from the end there, and then I'll just line up the line on my biscuit cutter. I've adjusted the height so it's an equal distance in the timber. Biscuit joints have been cut and they're now ready to be glued. Got a mallet, glue, biscuit, and some clamps. Okay, that's just drying out there. Okay, now I'm going to paint these. I'm going to spray paint them just with some matte black paint. I'm going to give them a good rub down first, just with some 600 grit paper, and then take it outside and then spray it. Actually, the legs come apart like that. So what I'll do is I'll take them apart just so I can get paint on every bit. Okay, I've just rubbed these down, but they are a little bit dusty, so I'm just going to dust them off. Actually, what I am going to use is a bit of a degreaser. There you go, how clean that's come up. So that'd be really good for spray painting it now. The spray paint should stick really well. All I've used is just some contact cleaner, electrical contact cleaner. It just says it removes grease, oil and dirt. Ideally, it's usually for electrical components, but it works really well for this. Okay, that's all these prepared now, ready to be spray painted. So what I'm going to use is the black matte paint, give it a really good shake, and then take these outside and spray paint them. Okay, there's one coat done, it's still a bit patchy. Okay, now I'm going to paint the underneath of this, and I'm going to paint it black like everything else. Okay, this is done now. It's just drying. I might give it another coat because it's a bit streaky in a couple of places. Let's see what it dries like. Okay, these have had probably about 5 or 6 coats. I'll do one more coat and then let it dry and then bring them inside just to dry thoroughly overnight. Okay, I've turned this up the other way. What I'm going to do is to put the edges on now. And then also what I'm going to do is to sort out the legs. So they're the legs, and I am just going to attach the bottom part of the leg to the top essentially. It just does up with a grub screw there. So I'm just going to do all these ones here. It's a bit of a mess. Okay, let's screw those in okay. The only one I don't like is this one here. So I'm going to redo it. If I re-screw it in and just hold it in position, I think that'll be okay. And I'm going to screw in from the bottom as well, so it will pull in that bottom section. Just put my foot on it, stop it rising up. What I'll do is screw in here, put it all together. Just make sure any screws I use, I'm not going to foul where the screws are going to go in for the legs. Let's pull it in. Okay, this one here is really out of line, so I'm just going to open that up to get that in line more. Pull that in. Great, that's all done, ready to put the legs on. Put them on here. What I'm going to do is to just put this over here and then mark it all up. To mark it all up, all I'm going to do is just put that under there and then just drill some guide holes. I'm not going to do it all the way, just to there, just to mark it up. Do the others the same. Okay, it's time to put the legs on. Nice black legs, they're looking good. I hope I don't damage them and scratch the paint as I'm putting them on. But let's be careful as we do that. I've also painted these. I painted everything black, all matte black, because they're all different colours. You can see that some are silver and some are like a green colour. I just painted the heads, so that when I screw them on here, it'll all look nice and matching. Okay, now it's time to attach the legs. I've got two longer hex screws that I'm going to place here and here, because I think that's where they need to be the strongest. Great, that's solid. Great, it's looking good. You can just see a bit of the red coming through where it's scratched, where I've then put the hex screw in. I'm tempted just to give it a little spray of black paint over there just to cover it up. But you won't see it because that will be the underneath. Okay, obviously it is going to have a different top on it, but essentially that's what the legs and the outside bits are going to look like. All we've got to do now is to just put the top on. I'll sand down the top and make it nice and smooth, and then seal it all and then screw it onto the top. Okay, it's all dry now. What I'm going to do is take the straps off and I'll turn it over the other way just to see what it's like, which essentially will be the top, because this is the underneath at the moment. Okay, now it's time to sand it down. I'm going to move the table over to the grass area just so that all the sawdust is contained on the grass, and give it a good sand down. I'm going to use my belt sander and I'm going to sand it down. I'm going to use a 40 grit sandpaper just to get it smooth and do the edges and the ends, and then I'll use a medium grade sandpaper and then just finish it off with my disc sander. It might take a few hours just to get it smooth. I probably could plane it down initially, but let's see how it goes. Because it's a little bit wonky here, that's set in a bit too much. I'm just going to draw a line just so I know how much to take off here. Okay, this side I just chopped it straight. Thought it'd be a bit quicker. And then now just sand that smooth. Now to turn it the other way and do the top. P40 grade. It's gone like that because the wood's a bit damp still, which is not great. Done that in a few places. You feel it's quite damp. Okay, let's see what it looks like. It's looking good. It just needs to be sanded and sealed a bit more. Ugly? Not so ugly. Okay, I've brought this in here just to help it dry out a bit more. I've had to clamp the end just to help straighten it up a bit. And then what I'm going to do now is to fill the gaps just here. Just a little bit more. I'm going to use some sawdust and some wood glue just to fill these gaps here. They're not massive gaps, but it might just help a bit just to fill them and make them nice and smooth. There's a couple of larger gaps here. And then there's one here. I want to be able to fill that gap there. What I'm going to do is mix part wood glue with part sawdust. Just a blob of wood glue and then a sprinkle of some sawdust. And then I'll just mix it together. And then I'll just rub that into the gap. And then I've got a metal scraper just to get it in a bit further. Just like that. And I'll do that all the way along. Okay, that's all the gaps filled now. I'll let it dry maybe for a couple of days because it is quite cold in here. And then I'll give it a good old sand down. Okay, now I'm going to sand down this. It's been drying overnight. I'm just going to sand it all down. Okay, that's better now. I'm just going to change to a 120 grade paper. Okay, let's do the edges and then just round them off so they're not too sharp. Okay, I'm just going to go over it with my disc sander to get it smoother. Okay, that's looking much better. The only thing is where I glued it, I probably should have used finer sawdust as it's not really smooth here, or it just needs to be smoothed off more, but it was taking a lot of smoothing off because of the glue. But overall, it's come out all right. It's quite a rusticy table anyway, so it should be fine. It's a little bit bowed up this end, just due to the warping because of the wet wood. But I'll seal it and then screw it all together. That will help to then pull it in place. I'll just clamp it up, just to help get rid of some of the gaps while the wood continues to dry out. I've filled this some more just to get it really smooth. It was looking a bit lumpy before, so what I've done is to use some really fine sawdust and some glue, and then just filled it like I did before. So now I need to sand it all down and make it nice and smooth. Great, that's much better. I'll be able to seal it all properly now. That's measured exactly so that the table's right in the middle of the tabletop and it's ready to screw in. Okay, I'm going to screw through here, closest to the corner I can get. So I've got these 15cm hex screws that I'm just going to use. I'm just going to drill through here just to drill a hole for the hex screws to go in. And I'll do that on each corner. Okay, let's now screw the hex screws in. I just thought I haven't got enough room for the washer, so I'm just going to screw them in like that. One down, 3 to go. Okay, that's the top screwed on. There's a bit of a gap just here. So what I'm going to do is take that hex screw out and replace it with one of those long ones that goes straight through. That'll also give it a bit more strength. Okay, I'm going to stick these on here. I'm just worried that the red will come through, which it is a little bit. So I'll just stick these on here. Like that. So that's sort of sliders as well. Protect the floor. Make sure that there's no black comes off there onto the floor. I'm going to turn it the other way up now, just to seal it. Okay, now it's time to seal it. I'm just going to seal it with some rustic oil. Okay, that's just drying out, and then I'll probably give it another coat. It's looking quite good already. Great, that's done now. I've given it about 4 different coats of the Angus oil on top. It probably still needs another coat because it's quite dry in places. But overall, it's looking good. The gap's closed up well here. It's a little bit patchy. However, I think that will dry out and continue to dry out, so it'll all be one colour. Well, that's another job done. Now be used as a dining table because you can actually get your legs underneath, which is good. So it came out okay in the end. It's still drying off a little bit, but all in all, it's pretty good. So it's a good way to upcycle that small table and make it into a dining table. So thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for some more videos.